Hello everyone, welcome to my first lesson. The first lesson is about numbers. I will teach you about numbers, like how we can use in Python. We will use VS Code and the terminal in here, so in two ways. So let's get started. So we have integer and float numbers. I will show you like how they look like, okay? So let's get started with the integer numbers. So for integer numbers, as you know in math, you know, integer numbers is just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and etc. Okay. For the float numbers, it's a float numbers because their types different when we try to indicate in program, we're just adding their float or integer, in some cases. Float numbers looks like 1.5 or 3, like minus 5, 4.23 or etc. So floating numbers is after dot we adding there's some like more numbers, all right, like pi numbers, okay. For decimal numbers, which is integer numbers, it is like without this floating point, okay. So normally all of them is integer, but just this is some specific point. We're just using that system, okay? So let me just make you sure about that, like how it look like in program. Like, let me prove you that. We can say print. Print means like we can display out something in it. We can say type. In type, we can put our numbers. For example, in this case, I want to add like 5, all right? This is our integer number. So, and I want to add here like type, and I want to add 5 point dot, I mean like 23, right? So this one is our integer type, and this one is our floating type, float type, okay? Let me prove you that. When I run it, you will see in here integer and float, right? Class is integer for the first one, this one, and for the second one, it is float, all right? So when you add there some numbers like that, it means this is float, right? So when you see normal numbers like that, this is just integer. If you didn't see there dot, you will know this is integer. I hope you understand integer and floats, okay? So now let's continue with the other steps. So let me show you about operators or these things. But before that, if you didn't install VS Code, I want to show you in PowerShell or like command prompt, okay? Like CMD, just we can say Python like that. We can just say, when you say tree, it will be like tree. When I say type of tree, let's see what will happen. It says like integer. Did you see that? So when I say type is like 1.1.23, it will say float. Did you see that? This is separating them, like this dot is just making like a float, all right? Okay, let's come back to here. So now let's talk about operators, like how many operators we have, like they're helping us, all right? So we can do some math calculations, as you know, in math class, like 1 plus 5 minus 3, and blah blah blah. So we can calculate all these things like that too. And also we can say like time 2 and dividing 3. As you know, first we're making calculation between like multiplication, and after that division and plus and minus and blah blah blah, right? So it is same in programming in here. For example, let's say I want to make print. By the way, we need to use print to if we want to display something in VS Code. But in CMD, we can just write this codes like these numbers without any print. Okay, it will work there. Okay, now let's run it and see solution. It says 4, right? 4.0. All right, just don't look at this like float, but just check. So 3 times 2 is 6, and if you divide 6 to 3, it will be 2, right? Now we have 2. And what happened here? We have minus. Did you see that? So 3 times 2 is like 6, but it is minus 6, right? And minus 6 divided 3 it is minus 2, isn't it? And do you think like it will be like minus 2 plus 1? Sorry, minus 2 plus 6 will be what? It will be 4, right? Yeah, that's the true answer. It is like in math, how we're calculating things, right? Nothing different, and programming languages is working amazing in this case. So let's do the same thing in CMD. I want to show you there too. All right, just we can say, let's do a little bit different. Let's say 5 minus 3, sorry, let's do that again. Minus 3 times, let's say 6 divided 5. Yeah, it will give us like 1.4, like a floating numbers again. Did you see that we didn't use print? It's just displayed out like that, all right? So that's good. You understand how we're doing these things, right? By the way, if we want, we can just separate things like how we want. For example, let's say the print is stable in here. Let's say I want to do something, some operation, but just I want to be sure like to didn't mix up these things, right? Let's say I will open another parenthesis and I will say like 5 times 5 times 3, and I want to make a minus, which is 15 minus subtraction, right? And then I want to say like 2 divided 2. Let's say something like that, okay? We can make it longer, but just I'm showing you like concept, okay? Let's run it and see what will happen. It says 14. Did you see that? It works amazingly. So we can separate our works in steps and it will look like amazing than we think, because if you make it like that, we know like we have some first operation things, like first we need to like multiply 5 to 3, and after that we have division and blah blah blah. But if we separate them with the parentheses, then we will know like how to work on it, right? Okay, so we can just prevent some issues in here like that. All right, I think you get it. So let's make it like that. And let's do the same thing in here. So just open it and say 5 minus 3. All right, just close that. Let's do it again and say time. Let's do different. Now in this case, let's say 3 plus 5, something like that. Yeah, it gives 16. 5 minus 3 is 2, and it is 8. 2 times 8 is 16, right? That's cool. You understand. Now let's talk about something different. So we want to get power of some number, or we just want to like make their floor division, not normal division, because we don't want to get like a fractional number, like distinct to fractional number, and we want to see a remainder number after division, which is modulo, right? Modulo operator. Okay, so we have some operators like that. I will show you. So this one is just max things like distinct to fractional part, which is we want to divide, let's say, 17 to 5. In this case, it should be something like 5 or 5.9 or something else. Yeah, but the this floor division will max it like only 3, and there will be a reminder, but it will give us integer number. Let's do this example. Let's say floor division, okay? So let's say I want to divide 17 to 5. So in this case, this is normal division. It will give us what? Let's check it. 3.4, right? But what if I want integer number, not like float number? Uh, I don't want to interest with float number in this case. Let's say I just want to see the like without reminder. I mean, so all right. When I put this floor division, it will distinct the fractional number, which is this reminder number. It will just give us the real number, 3. How many 3 in 17? Like, let's think about that. 3, like 3 times 3 is 9, 4 time and 5 time. So if you think about that, we have 5 times 3, it is 15, right? We have 2 reminder there, which means 2 reminder in this case, right? Reminder there, and which means we want integer number. In this case, 2 reminder will be there, will stay there like that. Because if we say like 17 divided 5, in this case it will give us 3.4. But if we want to get like normal without fractional, if we want to distinct it, then in this case it will give us 3. And I know, like, you already knowing about this fractional number and floor division and this kind of things. If you didn't know, I'm just saying, if I say 17 divided 5, it will not accept this reminder number like 2. It will just give us like 3.4. All right. But when we say floor division, it will just like will ignore this 2 reminder, and it will give us the integer number 3, and it will just ignore this point 4 from there. Okay. And okay, I think you get it. Let's look for the power of some number. We can do it in this way. Let's say we want to get power of some number. We can use two stars like that. So the first one is like a time, but if you put it 2 times, it is just taking some like power of some number. Okay, how we can do that? So let's say get power of some numbers, or power of some numbers. Okay, let's say print. What do you know about power of numbers? Let's say I want to get a power of 2, or power of 3. Let's say power of 3. So in this case, I will put two stars like that, okay? Two star signs like that, and I will say 2. So what it means 2? 2 is power of this 3, okay? In this case, we just indicating it like that, or we can do that like 5. So what will be in this case, like power of 5? What do you think? So let's run it and see. 25, right? If we multiply 5 times 5, it will be 25, right? Because we're saying 2 times. What if we say 3 times, like if we want to get cube of this number? All right, let's try it. 125. Did you see that? It is like 5 times, like 5, sorry, time 5 times 5, like that, right? Yeah, it is just we want to indicate here like what kind of things power of number we will get, and we just, this is our number and this is power of the number. Okay, we can indicate there. I think you get it, right? Let's add it there too. Okay, it will be good for understanding. Then we have modulo operation. So how we doing that? Modulo operator is very good. Okay, we mostly using in programming that one. So we have this one modulo operator. Let's say this is modulo operator. We always checking like if it is odds number or the not. Okay, with this one, like we can say 14, like 14 we using modulo, like if we divided that, like it will be 0 or 1. In this case we can check it like that, right? So what if you divide it? It will be 7. There will be not reminder number. In this case it is 0 odd, right? It will be 0. But if we say 15, there will be reminder 1, right? It will change. So let me make it clear. In this case the result will be 7, which means it is 0. Reminder is 0. But if you say 15, and if you use this modulo, and if you say 2, it will be what? 7.5, but we will not think like that, because it will say divide 15 to 2, and it will be 7, and there will be a reminder 1, right? It is another case we using that like that. Okay, let me give you an example with doing that. Print, just saying 14 divided, sorry, not divided. Let's use modulo operator. Let's say 3, or let's say 2. In this case, it will give us 0. 0, did you see that? It is just 0. But if you say 3, we know that like there will be some float number, like fractional number. It will say 2, because like if you divide 14 to 3, it will be 3, 6, 9, 12, and there will be two reminder number, right? It just gives us the reminder numbers. Okay, this is another case how we using that one. And let's say, all right, there is, we did already something. Let's use all of them in an operation. So let's say 6, 17, 17. Let's start from floor division. 17 floor division, like 2. In this case, we will know that will be what? What will be this? It will be 8, right? There will be one reminder, but it will just give us integer number, like without floating number, like it will distinct the other, right? And let's say minus, let's do some crazy work. Okay, let's say for that, so let's say same thing, let's do same thing. Let's use modulo there, or not modulo. Let's say 6. I want to use power of 6, like 2. It will be 36. And let's divide it to, let's do now modulo, and let's say 19. Use this modulo operator. Let's say 2. In this case, it will be 1. The remainder part will be 1. Let's run it. It will be minus 20.0, something like that, right? So this is something we did in here, okay? But what if I say like 2, what will happen? 10. Still, it is floating number. Why? Why it's like that? What do you think about that? All right, all right. So let's continue. Let's continue. Don't mix up your mind, okay? Everything clearly in here. We using this guys always, okay? Nothing more. So let's do same operation in here. So I want to do something with the 12. Let's say 12. Let's use floor division and say 3. In this case, it will give us not 3, sorry, not 4, 5. Let's say 5. It will give us the 5 and 2, right? So, and then say minus and use their power of some number, power of 3, yeah. So cube of 3, cube of 6, sorry. And then let's divide it to now use modulo, so we can say 25 and use modulo and say 2. It will not, so there will be like 1, right? Okay, it will give us the result. We're already using this, guys. I hope you're now familiar with it, right? We don't need to do more examples about that. And I will show you one more thing in here. It will be amazing or lifesaver, okay? It will help you. Let's say I'm making some operation. I don't want to show you too much example, but just this is some variable. Let's say price is 21 and mm, let's say discount is 3, like that. So now I want to multi yeah, I want to make multiplication in here. So price time, let's say, so what can we do in this case? Maybe I can just say discount will be like the 0.25 maybe. So what do you think? And I can say price time discount like that, but we will use print in here as I mentioned before to display out, right? What will happen right now? It will give us 5.25. So it is 75% discounts, like for the price of 21, right? So if you want to apply 25% discounts for the 21, it will give us 15.75 lira or dollars or euros or whatever else. This is a product and the product price is $21. And after we apply 25% discounts, when we do that 75, which means we are applying 25% discounts, all right? And in this case, let me make it like 50, maybe your mind is mixing with it. It will give us like 10.5, which is half of this price, right? And it will give us this solution. So what if I want to use this thing again? Let's say price in here, okay? Come down and I just want to say like price time or plus price plus underscore. What do you think? What will happen in this case if I use that? Let's use in print price under price plus underscore. Underscore is not defined. In this case, it will say us it will not recognize or this kind of things, right? So what do you think? How we can use this guy there, like to be sure about like what we did? So I just want to give you some example about that, where we can use this underscore to just calculate things because it's just recording our first calculation and after that it's just showing us in somewhere like when we use, okay? So what it means, let me show you in like command prompt. I mean, let's use there and see what it means, okay? So now we have this one. Let's come back here and say price equals 21 and discount is, let's say, 0.75 or 50. Okay. Now I just want to calculate it like price time discount to give us like 50% discount. Okay. It says like that, right? Now I want to calculate like price addition. We added there. We want to addition. We just say underscore. Did you see what happened in here, guys? It gives us 31.5. It's just this underscore means is just like recording of this calculation, okay? Price time discounts, we know it is like 10.5, right? When we say price is 21 plus underscore is calculation of this price and discount. It is 10.5. So 21 plus 10.5, it's 31.5. Did you see that? It sometimes, this underscore sometimes help us to make things a little bit faster, but most of the time, if you want, you cannot use. But in some math calculations, like if you have some numbers like that, okay, so how you can remember that? Just you can say like underscore, it will give you just some solution. In other way, it will be difficult, okay? Just we can use in some case like that. Why it didn't work in here, command prompt is different, here is different, okay? All right, I think you understand how to do it. Just I will tag them into comment. So this is another way how we using this calculation. All right. That's all for about numbers. All right. We now have something more. Let me check if I have something more. So I think nothing more for about numbers. Like we have float numbers, integer number, and yeah, that's all. Nothing more than this. Decimal and fraction, and we can do some like complex numbers. We have also complex numbers, we can use them too, and we have binary and bit system and a lot of stuff, but let me speak later about that, okay? For now, just that's all. I hope you understand. So I hope everything cool from your side. Thank you to watch my video, and we will the another class, the next class will be about let me open that. Next class will be about strings. So you will learn a lot of things in strings. Strings will be a little bit longer. Thank you so much to watch my video. If you have any question, just you can describe to on my YouTube channel or like below of the video. I can reply there. Thank you. Have a good day.